Hi guys, this is Jake with Think Free Live Free, and today I am wiring my DC switches for my water pump and for my puck lights. I have these little toggle switches that have an LED on there, and I've heard that that LED can be super annoying when you're sleeping in the van and it lights up the whole van. So I am gonna leave that out. I'm not going to connect the ground wire, which is the black wire, which is on this particular switch, it's the brass pin. I'm going to run my red wire and then another red wire to the battery. So the middle goes to the battery or your power source, and then the top one goes to your load, your appliance, so water pump or puck lights. So I'm running my wires. I've used a wire hanger and I've labeled my wires so I don't get confused on the other side which is which. So this is for the water pump and then that's for the lights, and then I just tape them together with the wire hanger and I'm feeding them through here. As you can see there, it comes up through there, and I'm just going to continue to run that to the breaker box. So I ran it from here. This is where my panel is going to sit for the switches, for the lights and for the water pump. So it runs through this area and then it runs all along that beam there all the way to the breaker panel. As you can see here, here's my wire hanger that I used. It comes out right on the top there, and then I'm going to feed it into these wires here to run back to the switch. Alright, so I'm using butt splices. My wire from my puck lights for the switch is coming in here, and then from the lights it's coming in on this side. So all I did was I cut into the red wire, and this wire going to the switches. The red wire I'm using I spliced it there. Cut into the existing puck lights. So the red wire from the switches is going to go into the load, is going to go into the battery or the DC panel, so where it gets power from. So as it goes down, this is where the power comes from. The power goes in, runs to the switch, which this red wire on that side will go to the middle prong, to the battery load positive. And then the top prong is going to get this wire, which hypothetically should also be red, but I just ran one wire, and just for convenience sake I'm using this kind of black wire, as you can see there, as my load wire that's running to my load. So that comes in here. This goes up to the puck lights, so I spliced those together, so that will go up to the puck lights and control all of the lights. I had to come to the end of the line so that it will actually, when I hit that switch, it will turn off the entire circuit. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try to explain better. Basically, you're just cutting into your red wire. I am not running a black wire. I do not want these LEDs to be illuminated. I want them to be off. So they are not going to be functioning. I don't want them on in the van. The top prong is for the lights. The bottom prong is to run to your power. So on the other side there, this red wire on the other side will hook onto this middle prong, and this black wire will hook onto the top prong, which is for the lights. And then it runs back here. The black one continues to the lights, whereas the red one veers off and goes into the power distribution panel. or your negative bus bar, however you're setting this up, or your DC block, however you're setting this up. So I hope that helps some people out there wondering how to run your switches. So these butt splices they have heat shrink on them, so I was able to shrink that down. You can see there, it makes a nice connection. So technically this one is ready. This is for the puck lights. So again, my black wire is technically a red wire. So just see it as a red wire. You have two reds coming from this kind of switch. If you don't want to run the power, the top one is going to be for your lights. The bottom one is going to be going to your battery. That's where your power comes from. So in this instance, I am running the red wire that's coming from the switch on that side is going to go to this middle prong on that side. But this red wire is running straight into the distribution panel that's coming from the puck lights. And then I cut into that, and the black one is going back to the lights. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. I'll try to explain that better. Thank you for watching. I do want to do a shout out to my cousin Hein. He's in Uppington, Horblerswoop, South Africa. He's a killer electrician over there. He's been doing electrical his whole life. And I did run all this stuff past him, and he confirmed and helped me to make 100% sure that everything is connected correctly. So Hein, thank you. Thank you, cousin. I appreciate it. I couldn't have done this part without your advice and guidance. Thank you, brother. So I'm at the end of the line here. I have wired everything over at the breaker box. I am trying to run my wire up to this position here above the electrical outlet. So I have to take this electrical outlet off so that I can get to this hole here so that I can feed my wire through here. Alright, so before I can install those switches, I'm making a little panel for where I can mount the switches to. So next thing, I'm going to drill a 3/4 inch hole for these switches to sit in, and hopefully that will be sufficient. I did measure it. It does look like a 3/4 inch hole, so I'm going to try to see if that works. So I got my panel all done. You can see how the switches fit in there. I've left some space for in the future if I want to add switches for anything else. So the next thing for me to do is to wire this up. It's really simple. So the middle pin is going to go to the red wire, which is coming straight from my battery. And then the black wire, which is also a red, I'm using it as a red, is going to go to the top pin, which is going to my lights. The brass pin on the bottom, usually that's where your black will go to if you want this LED to work. I do not want this LED to work, so I'm leaving that out. So I'm basically running 2 red wires. But just for convenience sake, I'm using this black wire as the wire that runs to my lights. The red goes to the battery or the distribution panel or your DC fuse box. There's 2 ways that I can do this. I'm going to just twist this wire around this connector. I do have these that can just push in. I'm running into a problem though. The back side of this is not giving enough space here for the wires in the back, even though I made a little feed to extend it out more. it's still not enough. It's gonna be too tight. So I'm just gonna wrap it around on the switch through the hole and then wrap it around, and then I am gonna use heat shrink. So even if I wrap it around that, I will secure it nicely so that it does have a secure connection there. So these switches, the holes on these things are extremely small, so I ended up, I don't know if you can see there, but I ended up drilling them out a little bit bigger so that I could get my stranded wire through there. So I can do a twist and then apply my heat shrink. I just wanted to show you how it turned out here. You can see my heat shrink is on there. I twisted the wires onto those holes on the brackets of the switch, and then this is how it looks before I start installing it. Okay, so a quick look on this side. You can see the black wire, which is also a red, that I've been using just for convenience because I was running one wire. The top wire, the black wire, goes to the lights. The red wire, the bottom wire, goes to the battery or your power source. So the same with the bottom one. Black goes to the appliance and the red goes to power. My switches are set for my puck lights and for my water pump. It's gonna mount on here for now. So the switches are in. The top one is for my puck lights and the bottom one is for my water pump. I can't test it yet because I don't have my electrical running. That is the next step in the next couple of days to get that going. You can see I kind of made a little bit of a spacing there so that I can run my wires. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, please subscribe, and please share with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. I hope this helps anybody out there wondering how to wire DC switches. Thank you so much for watching.